Alrighty, we've just come across and we've got our piece from that disc sander. It's nice and square on the top and your bottom edge here. What we want to come through and do now is mark this up. So it's going to look something like this. As you can see, there's a mark coming down towards the end here, and we're going to do that. Now, our end is not completely square, but we'll fix that up at the end. Very first step we're going to come through and do is come through and we're going to mark in 20 millimeters. Now, I've filmed this a couple of times. I'm having trouble getting the viewage right on a darker piece of timber. So we're going to use a red pen and see if that makes a bit of a difference here. You are to never use pen. Come in and measure from the back and measure back 20 millimeters. So for this, I'm going to come through, make sure my finger is right on the edge there and feel it. Now, I always say never measure to the center, but because I've got the light timber in the center and it's easy to see, I'm going to use that as my start point. After I've done that, I'm going to grab my square and continue that line across, making sure to get it exactly where I want it. It's always important to take your time lining these tools up, because otherwise you may always have an issue with that. After I've got my red line going this way, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to continue this line down the far side. Now, if you're having trouble here, you're like, oh, I don't know where it ends. You can do a couple of things. Number one is you can come in and hold it up on an angle. And if you hold it up on that angle, you should be able to see just when the square comes through and the line comes through and touches that square blade. Otherwise, you can carry that line a little bit around by yourself and then realign. So then you do that and then realign. After you've done that to that side, flip it back around and continue that same process on the other side there. Yep. And it's going to come out looking like that. Red, red, and red. After we've done that, we do want to measure a certain distance back here. Now to do that, we're just going to use our trusty ruler again. I'm going to mark back 118 millimeters from the end of this piece here. You come back 118, which is going to put me just before the end here. I'm going to do a little line there, like so. I will then use my square to carry this line up and around like I've just recently done prior. So getting that exactly where I want it. Drawing that up, bringing that around, drawing that across, and then bringing that back down. After we've done that, we now need to measure up 3 millimeters from that base piece there. So coming down, using a measurement here, coming down and marking 3 millimeters. Do that on one side, flip it over and do that on the other side. From there, continue that line all the way from there up to the top of that other line you drew down here. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So as you can see, this is coming up and it's connecting with the line we drew on the top here. It's going to come back across. We're going to continue that down to the other line. Now, what we know is you can see the outline of my doorstop here. I'm going to come through and just draw some crosses on the top so I know exactly where that's going to come through.